You've seen The View, heard all the real talk. Now have a seat at our table. A table for five.
The thing that really bugged me about the situation was the fact of how they let his body lay in the middle of the street after he was
Nobody
shot.
called 911?
No, well, they did, but it was like hours. I want to say it was something like
time.
5-6 hours
Well,
that he
whenever-
lay.
Yeah,
the 911
get killed like
Wait. That he lay in the middle of the street uncovered. And the
Whenever
fact that I
people get
found
killed
out.
like that, they do it because they do investigation.
No. They can be in the middle of the street. I'm not saying they need to move him. I'm saying they needed to cover his body. And I found out a fact about it was I was talking to a mother. She happens to be a detective out here, and she said her theory was that in those types of areas, like smaller towns, smaller cities, less big cities, like Los Angeles is considered a big city, LAPD is trained differently. So their training is different on how to handle those types of situations. So she was like, was it an oversight? She felt like it was an oversight. Maybe it wasn't necessarily done on purpose, but I'm thinking, there's a little bit of on purpose.
Oversight.
And it's like, they've never had a case like
he
this.
was black that they left him on the street?
I think it's a combination. I think the first thing is the color of his skin. They didn't really care to cover him up. They didn't care about it at all. Then they didn't know. I don't think their procedure, they had never had an issue like this before. Now you have crowds gathering. Now you have media coming within the first hour. So they're probably like, I don't know what to do with the situation. I'm not making any excuses. Like I said, it disgusted me and it made me like, that is like, just cover the man's body.
Right.
It was in the middle of the day. There were children there, kids, people, their families are walking out. Why is this man dead in the middle of the street? You just cover up his body. I don't care if you know what to do or not, just cover up his body.
Racism in America is just, it factors into everything. It factors into how we treat each other, how we treat someone who's been, murdered, allegedly. I just think it's an interesting conversation to have. But my issue with it is it's always a black and white issue. It's never a greater issue. We're sitting at this table and we're of all ethnicities. And you're going to tell me that this is only about you and you? Or you and you and you and not her and my ethnicity. I really struggle with, I really struggle with that. But in media and in politics and where it counts, it's only a black and white issue. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist and that it's not real. It is real. But you don't hear about when the Latino kid gets shot. Oh, how many Latino kids get shot by police or get murdered, and nobody hears about that.
I think we heard about it a little bit more this time because it was more against police, against everybody.
But that's always,
and it was a little
that's
bit
not
more.
Police shoot.
No, I'm saying this time in the media, I think because I heard there were a couple more people that were shot in South Central, and they weren't all black. There was like 2 or 3.
So
Hispanic
what makes that
boys.
different? Because he was shot by a cop?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
but
Is that I think you're seeing it now in the media because it was the cop against society. So they're trying to bring out the bad cop.
I'm not saying that's not my point. My point is that I'm sure there have been many cases where cops have shot either Asian in the Asian community or in the Latino community, and you don't hear about it. It doesn't matter. You could put on the Latin network, all the Latin network news, and every night they cover it.
Oh, they do?
But it's only on Spanish language television.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Now, why is that?
I don't, because there's no value there. Mainstream media doesn't find a value in that. It doesn't. It's not going to rise up. I also believe that unfortunately, a lot of the dynamic between Hispanics is in the West Coast, across America, Hispanics do not speak up because of fear. Fear of deportation, fear of just being called out, fear of immigration. So they just keep it quiet and keep it moving. Don't worry about it. Don't mess with the police. And they just keep it under the rug. So their fear makes their problems and their issues less than.
When they're not
they don't want to draw the voice because 90% of them are probably illegal immigrants, so they don't want to be deported, and that's going to affect the children, and then they'll be removed from their kids. It's such a bigger problem, but it bugs the heck out of me because when it comes to immigration, the Hispanics are the problem. When it comes to racism, it's a black and white issue. When it comes to religion, it's a Muslim evangelical issue. We put everybody in a little box. And so when you watch mainstream media, the conversation is just so off to me. It's not relatable because my little brown boys will get called out. And I can speak louder than the person next to me, or, well, not you, but the other Hispanic who may not necessarily, but it's not fair. It's just not fair.
Because what y'all have to understand is who are the people running the media, running the information, that's why it's always talked about. It's the people that's behind the media. So is it you hear about it on the Hispanic channel because that's the people that's running the media. So that's where
So you're saying
the one-sided story. You're saying the one opinion.
So you're saying the people that run American media.
That's why you hear about the black and white issues more than you probably hear about the Hispanic issues, because you say it yourself, there's nothing on TV for Hispanics except for that one channel, and it's like, okay, right, do we really want to watch like one channel all day
well, there's
long?
two channels. Well, there's two mainstream channels. There's many networks and many cable channels, but one of them is owned by
our TV. Our media is not diverse.
No, it's not.
So that's why we don't get diverse news, because the information is coming from one side, basically.
Well, everything is one side. Depends on where you're from. And then the U.S. is like diverse from, like you have everybody from everywhere. So everybody has their opinions, you know. For example, like honestly, racism, the, color or white, for me, it's both ways shocking. But I think it happen, for instance, like that if the color man died on the street, nobody took care of it, and then somehow it become big issue. But Caucasian somehow got killed on the street, nobody really cared. And they found out, oh my God, it's like the color person, maybe it killed the Caucasian, it become. It depends on how.
It's such a volatile. I think the history in this country has been such a black and white issue that they just want to keep it going, perpetuate it, and it's going to get more views.
My country has the same thing.
Because of the way he was executed. He wasn't just shot in the leg or shot in the arm. He was executed.
Allegedly.
So that's why it was a big deal, because
it is still a big deal.
But it's a big deal even when Donald Sterling spoke his mind or gave his opinions on the Clippers. Everything becomes this bigger than life situation when it's a black and white issue.
Because he was talking about the people that's giving him money, making him money.
But
the hypocrisy was yes, and that was my issue with Donald Sterling, was the hypocrisy behind all that, and how he lived such a contradictory life in his beliefs.
He was just old, and
he was old
said
school.
Crazy stuff.
That's right.
He was
crazy.
He was not old. He spoke what he believed. That doesn't pass it as old.
No,
she was.
It does
not keeping her legs closed.
Well, that's another subject. We are not having that conversation about the woman in the hose.
But I wanted to ask Jay about it real quick. You were talking about the Latin channels. What about Korean television? Korean television, I know, is big. Or Asian type television. Do you guys have news, and do they show?
Of course we do.
Well, I'm just asking, like,
that racist.
But no, but in America,
that's racist. Okay, I'm racist.
Racism at this table. What?
A lot of news channels. 20 of them. Okay, we have 20 channels for freaking news.
Okay, I'll be watching it tomorrow. Tell me what your view is on having how your culture is portrayed in your own media that you're watching.
I think it depends on what you're interested in. Because my country is more like interested in some kind of Obama actions, or related to like North Korea, something like that. We're more into it, but we cannot pick up every report like, oh my God, like color man like got killed, executed on the street. We don't get that.
So it's mostly a political.
And where is it coming from? Is it coming from Korea? Or is it coming from stations here?
Stations also. We have many stations everywhere. God.
And they drive cars and have paved roads.
Whatever.
Excuse me. I know you for a long time.
But I'm just trying to educate myself and our viewers out there that might not know a Korean person.
I know what 8 times 7 is.
The question I have for Jay, do you find that in your culture or your country, are they racist towards darker skinned Asians, or
but why are we talking about our country? We're here in America.
I know, but
they're racist.
I'm about to make a point. I'm about to make a point.
You can't tell her she's Japanese.
Right. Every country has racism, no matter what. Depends on what relationship you have with other countries, other color. But I personally think that Korea has already made issue with North Korean, and that's already big racism right there. If North Korea do something small to like South Korean, oh my God, war happens. We have so much big things that we kind of handle every day. So little thing here and there that other country happen, this and that, it seems like
It's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
I believe it's
but,
ingrained. It's beat into us. It's ingrained in us. It's so much part of our where we come from, our society, the daily life, and it happens all the time. Like I know a story where it was a Hispanic couple in a doctor's office with a little girl, and it was a darker Hispanic man in the doctor's office as well. When the Hispanic couple walked in with their daughter, they shielded their daughter from the darker Hispanic man because they didn't want her to see him like he was a disgrace. So what happened was the doctor came out and was like, I'm glad you're all here. You guys can come into the office with me. So everybody got up and walked into the office, and the Hispanic couple took the seats. The daughter took the seat, and the Hispanic man stood to the back of the door. And the doctor said to the Hispanic man, why are you standing back there? Come up here and take a seat. Because he felt shame. He felt like these people looked down on me or did the little gesture when they came in there. And so the doctor said to the Hispanic family, how's your daughter doing? And they was like, she's doing really well. And he was like, well, I want you to meet such and such. This is the donor. So you shielded your daughter from this man that gave her life because of your
Ignorance.
Your ignorance.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the problem with society is that they don't educate themselves enough to know. They automatically shield or listen to what they heard before to have like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
less than, better
right.
than. Yeah.
And that's where we stop. Is we have to be educated.
So how long is this going to go on? I think we need to talk about that when we come back. I want to talk about how long does this continue. Yeah, Marguerite, I appreciate the story. It's very heartwarming, and that's all good and well. But when do we stop telling those stories in order to just justify our prejudices against each other? We look at people and we immediately make a judgment on the color of their skin.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
I think I make a
Yes,
judgment
that
by
is
their actually
Because
manners.
that might have been the way you were raised, which is interesting. That's the way you were raised and you were taught.
Is it any black Asians over in Korea?
Many of them.
Okay.
Are they really?
Yes. What happened was, we got divided, and then we still get support from U.S. Army. So there is an army area, and then there's a huge
and they over there
instant
popping.
all the time.
Absolutely.
But our country is harsh because you know what?
Wow.
Hoppah Babies,
need those
you cannot get a
Americans.
citizenship. You're not considered Korean. So that's we have to be like one
The
blood.
child is not.
So you have to be a mother and a father. You
have to be Korean.
100% Korean.
So if you're
That's
not, then
interesting.
you are just ousted out there like screw you.
No, but then I think most of the kids who's Hoppah Baby, they either get citizenship
What do you
from
call them?
here.
Hoppah baby?
Hoppah Baby.
What's a Hoppah baby?
Hopping over the fence, getting it in.
Hoppah. It's like
What is that?
H-A-P-P-A, I think. This is
So what
okay.
does
It's
that
a pop
mean?
thing. You were never gonna understand.
Okay, no.
Hoppah.
They hop the fence.
Yeah, Hoppah.
They hop a fence. So they call them Hoppah baby.
Hoppah.
That's a
I don't know.
that's
That's
a racial slur.
I
That's
call
a
them
racial
Hoppah.
slur.
Sorry, I call them
You're
Hoppah. I am maybe in many
So-
ways, but I just don't speak out
But see,
loud.
that's a different culture, right? So the Americans, you look at people and you judge them by their etiquette, by the way they,
Right.
present themselves. Unfortunately, in America, that's not the case. Doesn't matter who you are, they will judge you by the color of your skin.
Or your hair.
Or your hair. That's the Puerto Rican way.
You are dumb in Puerto Rico, Heidi.
Sorry. Yeah, so I just find that to be, okay, when does that stop? When do we go, okay, you know what, we have to speak to the person, get to know the person, but do we care? I don't think we
even
care.
if you teach your children that, is life going to teach them something different? Because we can teach them that all day long,
they
teach them
walk
that all
out
day
the
long,
front door.
and then when they go out the front door and somebody calls them a
Because their
derogatory
other
name, or
parents-
somebody gives
that's
them,
not teaching them.
But that's
something
that's not an excuse not to teach them. I think
no, absolutely.
But
I
it's
believe
a
you should teach
societal-
them.
That's
Right.
what she's.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't know. How do we stop that? I have no clue. That's a good
okay,
question.
then we go back to the home base. By the way you were raised, by the way you are being taught at home.
Okay, but
by the way,
But the ones
it's-
that
yeah.
the racism is coming from the parents.
It is.
the other
racism
ones,
is-
the
yeah.
other children. And
But
so
it
if they're
has
not
to
doing the
do
same
with
thing,
generation.
if they're not doing the same thing that you're doing, then it's not going to do any
they're
good
not-
because
Okay,
their
so-
child is
so
going to
we
be
can commit,
like
we can
adults.
commit
Way
that
to
the 5
have it.
people here that come across children and have children in their home and come across kids will engage and teach them better. We can't just pass the buck and go, you know what, because
No,
in
you
that
would
house,
hope so. I think it should start in school. I think it should be part of a curriculum, teaching, something basic as humanity. It needs to start in kindergarten, and we need to have a dialogue about it, because people, maybe children who aren't getting that at home will get it at school. It needs
were you raised in a home that you felt was balanced and unprejudiced?
That's not enough. Teaching it at school is not enough, because
No, I know. I don't think it's. I know. I don't
they're
think
going to
it's
be afraid
enough.
to tell their parents. They're contradicting you at school.
Right. But
And you gotta obey
if you're
your
talking
parents.
about
You gotta obey
if
your
you're talking
parents.
about changing society, that's the only way that you're going to get it out there, is if you put it into a place where the children are going to go every day. Because if they're not going to get it at home, where else are they going to get it? I could teach my children. You could teach your children. But if over here they're not teaching their kids, their kids are not going to know. So why not put it in a place where everyone's going to come all day long and just start it out in kindergarten, first grade,
Well,
and just
doesn't
have
it
it go all the way
start by
through?
the fact that they're in an environment
Why can't
where
we do that?
But they're in an environment that is mixed. You don't have
But
your
it
kids.
doesn't matter though. If that's what they're getting at home, if they're constantly hearing their parents say derogatory things about the people that are on television,
They're judging the
people
kid that
that they're
sits next to
driving,
them.
and
I
they're
agree.
that person that's driving by, they don't know how to drive. They don't know, some racial slur or giving some type of stereotype. The kids are learning that. So how do you combat that? As a society, you have to put it in a public area, and the public school or school environment
would
is where
definitely
every
I
else
think
is.
schools trying to do it this day more about like human rights, how to treat your friends, and
I
if
think
some racism
private
because
school
the-
does.
Because
I
of
don't think
bullying.
public school.
No, public schools really have a platform on bullying. They have a platform on bullying.
bullying
But
is
it's not
considered under
race-based.
racism.
Bullying is
Of course it could be race-based.
No, I'm
Absolutely.
saying their position on bullying, I don't believe is race-based.
Oh,
I think they
no,
come at
that's
it as
not.
like, don't call this person names,
Right.
or be
Don't
nice,
tell
watch
them
your
to-
words. It's not. I think you
I
need to
agree.
get down nitty-gritty with it and
No.
say, we don't do this.
They
This
don't.
is not proper. Listen, when I interviewed my public school here, we said, what are your like stipulations? What type of I cannot think of the word right now. Consequences. What kind of consequences do you have? What type of discipline do you have? Well, we don't really discipline. We don't really do that. We kind of, we talk to the children, but it wasn't like there aren't consequences for your actions. So what is that? How am I raising my child in my home, and then they go to school where they are at most of their day, 6 to 8 hours a day, and it's not the same thing that you're teaching in your home? How are you supposed to combat that?
Well,
so
you
if they
can.
don't
You're the
have
parent.
it,
Okay,
if they don't have it there, then that's my point. But your question was, how do we
Exactly.
change society?
So you
That's the
saying
only
you
way
have to
get to
it's
the
gonna
and
go.
the parents are not teaching it at home because they was raised by somebody that was teaching racism, and it's just that they don't know any better, and they afraid to step over their parents' dead body to go and be a neighbor's friend because they're a different color or a
But do you
different.
think that though? I don't know. I don't know that they're afraid of it. I just think that they don't care.
They don't care. I agree.
I don't know
think
that it's
people
a
Yeah,
just
choice.
people
are-
don't want to
I
make a
don't- yeah.
big
They-
issues because they're like, you know
Yeah.
what?
There's
So
too much
Korean
information.
news or whatever nationality, whatever the news or channel they have. Okay, some incident happened. Yeah, people like to gossip, but nobody want to be the first one to take care of the problem.
Right.
Because whoever has
You're
a little more
spectators.
power to control the media, control the politician. You know what? You just get to say, oh, this is what happened. I'm just reporting the fact. No one's going to volunteer to do
Yeah.
something about it. So it's great that we're talking about it. And then maybe one by one, we have to teach kids or friends that human rights
To
go
make it a
always
better
first.
world.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it has to be more.
it has to have
Yeah.
more people, and it has to
That
have
would
more
be great in
power.
school.
Because, honestly, we'll never end like, endless fights over and over and over again. And because it becomes really personal, too.
I think
Yeah.
if we let evolution take its course, it will take such a long
Or
time.
everybody
Because
goes
I
to
can say that things
temple.
probably are better now than they were back, 50 years ago. Sure, and things will get better with time. But has the time? My thing is the
slow.
time that has
Yeah.
spanned, has it gotten that much better as it should be for the length of time that has passed? And it hasn't. It's just too slow. So if you let evolution happen, you're gonna 200 years from now, everybody might be like, "Oh, kumbaya, we don't care," but we don't have 200 years to wait.
No.
Yeah, and then people sometimes have to let go of the history too. Because
Yeah.
the incident
Yes.
happened
Oh,
back then.
yes.
But if it's like
Yes.
color
Yes.
man got the punishment a little harsh, then they make it more. And then if you're like Caucasian or Asian or Latino, same punishment, but seems like, oh yeah, they got away a little easy. So it depends
Yeah.
on how you actually judge the problem there. But I think we gotta kind of stop and then let it go, because how are you gonna really make it better out of it? Right? I personally think it's like instant happen in Korea, for example. Okay, we have a lot of the U.S. Army bases there. And then one, the U.S. Army, some happen to be raped 2 little girls. 2 of them and then somehow got hit by. He just ran over by the tank.
Oh.
They got killed.
The little
Korean girls?
Korean girls in our country, every Korean, they know because we were so mad. But part of the problem is, no matter what, you're in my land, you're helping us, but you cannot.
Were there any consequences for that?
Well, but there's the thing. So even though it happened in our country,
It was on the U.S.
on the U.S. side, because the U.S. Army is protected by U.S.
Was it on the Army base?
So it was on the actually, what is that?
base.
Not inside the base. They're like running out, and it's so bad. It happened. It was breaking.
When did that happen?
It's like a couple of years ago. And you know what happened was everybody was upset, and we got to do something about it. It's about the human rights and all that. You're in my country, doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the racism or nothing, but that we're just talking about the fact. And they got away.
Wow.
So our people, Korean, we're all upset. So we got the candle, everything.
So they weren't prosecuted at all?
No.
America didn't prosecute
No.
them, and Korea couldn't
They
prosecute
said it's a protected, but they said we're gonna take care of it. So they pull it out of our country, move them here.
That's disgusting.
I'm like, okay, you raped 2 kids,
Wow.
and you killed them. You killed them, our land. You kidding me? There's no human rights.
Yeah,
It's
there-
all about
it
the
is very
party.
hypocritical.
In this country,
Oh, we'll hang
and 2
them.
little kids get raped and then run over?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
we
they're
would,
done.
we would hang them.
That is so hypocritical.
Yeah, I think obviously, this conversation could go on forever, and there's different layers to it. We sit at this table with different nationalities. We all have very strong opinions about it, and it is a complicated conversation, and we will continue to talk about this, and we'll see how this ends. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We gotta get back to Donald Sterling.
Oh no, Donna Sterling.
She's dying to hoe it up.
Thank you for joining us at Table for 5. Please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. We hope you were informed, educated, and entertained. See you next time.